Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to discuss about database. So first of all, we work with Sqlite. So Sqlite is a database which is very lightweighted and you can save your data. So let's work with database Sqlite. So how we can connect Sqlite with Python program. So what you have to do is, first of all, you have to import Sqlite 3. So which is inbuilt package inside my Python. So I will import it Sqlite 3. So after that, this is a package which provides all functionality to connect with the database Sqlite. So first of all, I will create a connection con equals Sqlite 3. So this is a module and I can use dot here and you have to use connect. So here you can provide the database name. So let's say test.db. So db will be the extension and test is the name of my database. So let's run this code and you can see the output. So just choose Python run and OK. So there is no error. So let's refresh this project. So you can see here, I will refresh it and here test.db got created. So now how we can open this test.db and how we can see what are the functionalities available in my test.db. So this is Sqlite DB and how you can open it, it's very easy. So here you can see this is an official website of Sqlite Browser and here you can download Windows and for other OS as well. So you can see here for Mac and some tar and for Linux as well. So this is a browser and using this browser you can open your DB and you can watch it. So let's say this is a DB I have installed already here and just I will open the database. So you can click here open database and I will go to the same location where my project exists. So here in workspace I'm having my project and my project is using work with DB. So here you can see test and I will open it and you can see here there is a 0 tables. I will make it big. And here you can see 0 table, indices, views and trigger. So if you will see here browse data and you can select here tables if table are present. So you can see here there is no table. So first of all we will create the table and then we will see how we can insert the values inside table. So here we will create a table and let's see how we can create the table. It's very easy. Just we will create an object equals con.execute. So here we will use this object connection and dot execute is the function which you can use to execute the query. So whenever you will write a query, you have to use 3 single quotes or double quotes. So here you can pass the query. So query you can write in a caps. It's not mandatory, but for formatting purpose or this is a professional way to create the query. So you can use in a caps. So let's see how we can create it. Create table. So it is based on SQL and you should know about SQL. The SQL is structured query language. If you know the SQL, then you can be able to implement it easily. So create table and my table name. So let's say my table. So this is a table name and it can be anything. And here I will create the column inside my table. So let's say first column is ID and the second column is I have to define the structure of my ID. So ID will be integer type, so int, and this will be a primary key. So I can put here in this way primary key. So primary key is the unique for each record and it should not be null. So like there should be at least one value here. So this is the first column which I defined. After that you can define the second column. So let's say first name or we can say username and I want in text format and just I will close now this bracket and here you can see this bracket from ID and here I close it and you have to use colon. After that you have to close it. So you can see this is a query and I'm creating this query, create table, my table. ID is the first column which is integer type and this is a primary key and it will not be a not null and this is a username and this is a text type. So in this username column we can insert the text record. So after that, what you have to do is here, just I will execute this query and let's see the output. So there is no error, and just I will refresh my database here. So this is my database, and here I will refresh it. So you can see here ID and username, two columns got created, and this is a table. So table is, we can say, row column format, and this is a column ID and this is a column username. So in this way you can create the column and your table got created. So if you will see here database structure, so it shows here table 1, and if you will click here my table, and there is two ID and username columns. So, and you can see here this is a feature, ID not null, username text, and you can see this is a query I executed, create table my table, ID int primary key not null, username text. So same as I'm passing here. So your table got created and you no need to execute again. If you will execute it again, then it will give error. So let's run again and you can see the output. And it shows table is already exist. So one time only you can run this query. After that you should not run this, because now table is already exist. So no need to create it again. Now let's insert some value inside my table. So it's very easy. You have to use con dot. So con is my object here, which will return by connect, and con dot execute. So execute, same method, we have to write some query inside execute, and this is the method. And after that I will insert the query. So here I will write again structured query language. So insert into my table name. So my table name is my table. I have to pass in two columns. So one column is ID. So you have to mention here column name ID comma username. So these are the column name where I want to insert, and values. So you can see here values. So insert into my table the column name in which column you want to insert and the values you want to insert. So let's say values, and 101 comma name is, let's say, Rohan. Just here this is a string, and after that I will close this triple quotes, and then I will close the execute connection also. Now what you have to do is, if you are inserting anything you have to commit it. So if you will not commit, then it will not change. So let's run before commit and let's see the output. So there is no error, but in your database also it's not inserted. So you can see your database is still the same. And if I will do here commit, con dot commit, so this is a function which will commit your query and it will update the database. So let's run again, and now I can see here, if I will refresh my program, this is the database. You can see here the data got inserted. So 101 is the ID and Rohan is the username. So in this way you can insert the data, and let's insert more data inside it. So I will copy the same query, and here I will execute again, and control V, control V, control V. So I'm executing 4 query, and I will change the data also. So let's say 102, 103, because it's a primary key and it should be unique. So you cannot insert duplicate values inside it. It will return an error. So these are the IDs I have defined, and here I will define some name. So let's say Rohit. So this is a next name, and let's say here I will pass Ram, and the name is, let's say, Mohit, and here Rahul, and here Preeti. So let's run this program and see the output. Something is there near Rohit, syntax error. So okay, I'm not closing it here, so that's what it gives a syntax error. So let's run again. Okay, again I'm getting some error. Okay, I'm using here double quotes, single quotes, and you have to use single quotes here. So I have to close it and let's see the output. Now it should work. Yes, so there is no error, and here you can see I'm doing commit here. So now it should reflect to the database. So if I will refresh my database, you can see there are several records got inserted. So in this way you can insert the data inside database. And now how you can extract the data from the database. So let's see how we can extract. So it's very easy. So I will comment this portion so that we can understand it. Let's show the data in your program. I'm creating connections. Every time you have to create the connection. If connection you are not creating with your database, then you will not be able to execute any query. So here you can see connection got already created, and now I will create a query to select the database. So I will create an object equals con dot execute. So here you have to execute the query. So this is a method where I will put the query. So my query is to see complete data, select column name, ID, username. So here you have to pass column name, which is used for database, and you can do n number of operations with the data. So here I am selecting the records from ID and username from your table name. So table name is my table. So just this one, I will run this program and it will give an object to iterate inside my database. So this is, we can say this is an iterator obj, and I can iterate into database now. So let's print the type of the obj. Let's run the program. So you can see Sqlite 3.cursor. So this is a cursor which will iterate to your program. So now how you can run this iterator? So using for loop you can run easily. So for my data, so this is iterator, and I have to iterate inside obj. So this is a cursor which we are going to create, and this is object. Okay, so from an object I'm iterating using my data. So how you can print it? It's very easy. Just print by row, you have to iterate it. So let's say row 0, and here let's print again. This is not row, I have put here wrong. There is my data. So this is my iterator at index 0, and here I am using my data at index 1. So if I will run this program, you can see the output. So here we got the results. So you can see all data we are able to fetch. So in this way you can fetch the data, and it's very easy. So let's say if I want to delete some data from my database, so how you can delete? So there is a query, you can use that query, you can delete the data. So let's say con.execute, and here I will pass the query. So query says delete from my table, and here you have to pass some conditions. So where ID is equals 104. So whenever I will run this program, and I will do commit here, con.commit, and you can see here I am going to delete the data or record which is having ID 104. So you can see here there is 104 and the name is Mohit. So I want to delete this record. So if I will run this program, and you can see here, so there is no error now. So now I will refresh my database. So just refresh it, and you can see now 104 ID got deleted. So that record you can delete it easily. So in this way you can work it out here, and this using Sqlite. So always remember you can use this GUI, and here you can see your table and data. This is very easy to work with Sqlite, and this is an inbuilt package, and you can use it, and it is very lightweighted. So in next video we will work with Postgres database, which is very useful and common in industry. Thanks for watching.